there. Funny pizza story, you got it. Back in college, me and our friend John the architect used to hate how if you were at a party and you ordered pizza, you only got like one slice because like 15 people would eat it. So we started volunteering to order the pizzas, and we would get like one pepperoni, but then we'd get like one onion pizza because no one wanted to eat the onion, but we liked it, so we got a whole pizza to ourselves. And this was great, and it worked really well the first couple of times, but then other people started trying it and they loved it, so it ultimately backfired. So Ben, I was driving to work today and the song Wagon Wheel came on the radio. You may recall me serenading our viewers with it last video. Wagon. That's enough! And you're right, it's way better when it's random, but I got to thinking, what were some other songs that I have abused with the repeat button? So after some quick scrolling through my iPod, I found this song by Serena Ryder, What I Wouldn't Do.
You know I'll
good, right? So after probably abusing the song 5 to 6 more times, it occurred to me how odd it was that this song had made it to this level on my iPod, because it's not my typical kind of music. I mean, who is Serena Ryder? Turns out she's a Canadian indie pop rock singer, and believe it or not, I don't have a huge section of that on my iPod, unless you count Robin Sparkles, which I do. But I started to wonder how I came to enjoy this song. How had destiny brought me to this song? Well, it turns out this song first entered my eardrums as background music in this video created by a friend of the project, Panikann. And perhaps that should have been the end of the story, but as you know, Ben, I tend to overthink things. What? And I realized that maybe the story didn't end with Panikann, because in fact, she had created that video as a response to, well, my paying it forward video. So perhaps I was responsible for my own destiny. Except that I had made that video because someone had paid it forward to me, someone being none other than the mighty Zay Frank, who had left a comment on my True Facts About Zay Frank video and sent a rush of subscribers our way. Thanks, Zay! So maybe Zay is responsible for the song. Except that I never would have made that video if I wasn't such a huge fan of Zay Frank, and I wouldn't have been such a huge fan of Zay Frank if I hadn't been for my intense fandom of the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers, who are managed, played, and narrated by none other than John Green, not to be confused with starting forwards, partners in life and in love, Ball John Green and other John Green. They're the best forwards that Swindon Town has ever seen. John mentions in one video that despite knowing nothing about Zay Frank's upcoming project, he's already a massive fan of it. So I had to check that out, and I loved it, but here's where it gets tricky. Do we give credit to John for the song, or do we give credit to FIFA for giving John something to play, or for soccer for giving FIFA something to be about? Or to Hank for creating Hank Games, the channel which FIFA is played on. Well, they all play a role, but I'm gonna go ahead and take another step back and give the credit not to John Green, but to John Green and Hank Green and their parent channel. You guys may have heard of this one before, the Vlog Brothers. They led me to Hank Games. Don't forget to be awesome. But I wasn't always a nerd fighter, Ben. In fact, I was referred to the Vlog Brothers by Community Channel, or Natalie Tran, who is making videos again. Hi, Nat. So maybe the story should end there, and it certainly takes a jump because I did discover Natalie on my own, but that was because I was looking for channels to subscribe to. See, Tyler, Ben, you remember our younger brother Tyler, had just shown me Sexy Phil, he's not sexy, he's SXE, and taught me about subscribing to anyone on YouTube, and I was fascinated by it, so I guess thank you, Tyler. Except that the reason he taught me all that was because I had asked him if he had ever heard of the angry video game nerd, James Rolfe, who was the first video series I ever watched, and I think that is where the story ends without it getting, you know, too vague. And I was watching video game channels because Mom and Dad got me a Sega Genesis when I was 5. I don't think that works. So thank you James and Tyler and Natalie, thank you John and Hank and the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers, thank you Zay and Panikann, and of course you, Ben, for leading me down this little road that led me to a song that is kind of outside of what I normally listen to. Except that this is really only half of the story, because at the end of the day, the final person to hand me the baton was Panikann, and until we know her half of the Destiny story and what led her to use this song in her video, we're never gonna know the entire story. So, Panikann, if you're watching, ball's in your court. Ben, I don't know, I just kind of thought it was cool looking back to see how many different things led me to one point, and was reminded of how all the tiny little decisions and interests we have throughout our life can lead us to different big decisions in our life. So my question for you and everyone else is, what is one tiny decision you made some time ago that you think ultimately changed the entire course of your life? Let me know down in the towel section below, and I will see you in another life, brother. Hey, end screen, don't forget to like our channel, subscribe if you're not already, and I don't know, maybe go check out this song in its entirety, because, you know, it's pretty good.